Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and we've seen a lot of volatility with the Ecomi OMI token as of late in the past month. But I'd like to share a few quick thoughts on why I think this is an opportune time to be scooping up the token during the dip, why this current price won't last long, and at the end, I have some speculative content that I may have stumbled upon, so make sure you stick around till the end. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe. I'm a crypto, stock, and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. So let's do a quick review of the price, events, and then we'll actually get into what's going to rebound the price. So we're going to do a quick review of the actual price. And as you can see, I haven't refreshed it. So I actually meant to shoot this yesterday, and life happened, got busy, and unfortunately, oh man, it's already shot up so much. But this is still a good time to get in before the price continues to go. But as we can see, what's happened let's look over the past 90 days. So what happened back in February is it was pretty much not real known at all. And then people started to hear about Veve and the token associated, some of the tokenomics around it, some of the hype that was coming into it around February caused it to actually go up to around 0.003 or so, and then consolidated for a while. And then more hype, more understanding was happening with Ecomi, and it continued up to about 0.0076, which is right around where it is today. And that was about a month ago. And then we saw, again, that hype continue when more of the mass adoption actually understood what it was, and they all hopped on board, right? Thinking it's going to continue to go. But then there was a big sell-off, mostly probably from the people who got in around here and the people with those paper hands who didn't really understand a lot about Ecomi, and it sold off, rebounded with some more hype, and then has continued to sell off and consolidate for a while around that 0.08. But again, right around here is where we had the big flash crash and Ecomi's price started to dwindle. But we can see it's starting to pick up momentum again. So I explained why those things I kept saying hype, right? Now, Ecomi jumped up so fast because of hype. However, that hype is validated based on many, many factors that the mass majority of investors don't understand yet, right? So for those of us in the know, we understand the tokenomics, we understand the mass amount of burns, the collectibles on the Veve app, the upcoming licenses, the upcoming exchanges that haven't been announced yet, but we've been told there are multiple, and so on and so on and so on. There's a laundry list. However, a lot of those investors who hopped in did so because of the hype without ever actually doing research into what is Ecomi, or they never actually bought a collectible on the Veve app. And some didn't even download the app, right? So they were just looking for what the next hype coin. So from an outside looking in, some have jumped into OMI based off solely hypeness, similar to like a Doge or a Shiba or a Pika or even like a SafeMoon. And I'm not here to hate on Doge. Like, Doge was given utility by Elon Musk when he said you could buy a Tesla with it, or by Mark Cuban when he said you could buy MAV tickets. Even on Newegg, I recently saw where I got a lot of my computer parts, you can purchase with Doge. So it was given utility. So that hype led to utility, and with some of these other ones has as well. But hype is a very powerful thing, and it's shown in this market that sometimes that's all it's needed. However, Ecomi Veve is going to surprise a lot of people that it is not just a hype coin when you actually break it down to the utility and a lot of these catalysts that we're about to see. And I believe there are 3 keys to success that, when packaged together, make for a continuous gaining coin that can hold their value and weather the storm. The good news is Ecomi has 2 out of the 3 of those keys, and the better news is the other one is soon on its way. Let's address the first. The first is, we just spoke about it, hype. Ecomi is definitely not a meme coin in any sense, but again, I can see from an outside perspective how some could have that viewpoint. It's an NFT play, which, what isn't creating NFT capabilities these days? It's available on very few off the beaten exchanges with pretty much limitations on what you can exchange it with. And it has an app that is not the same name as the token, so many don't even understand that there's NFTs or collectibles tied to it. On top of that, Ecomi's hype has been on the decline since March from an underwhelming exchange launch on the Uniswap exchange with the wrapped Ecomi, lack of access to collectibles because back then the marketplace wasn't open, everything was sold out, so people hyped in, downloaded the app, and they couldn't even buy anything. And then from a slowdown of a big announcement that we've been waiting for, just announcements in general, and actual roadmap. So a lot of investors want to see a hard roadmap that's on the website, but we've only kind of been hinted at on things that are upcoming in a very cryptic manner in a way, but not an actual roadmap. Well, several of these things have been addressed, right? So the ability to now acquire collectibles has been addressed because they're doing weekly drops so everyone has a chance to get them. And now more and more are gaining access to the marketplace. The delay in access was probably due to the fact that, again, the app was in beta. But what we can see is that it's no longer in beta, right? Well, we're assuming it's not, but that beta that was next to the Veve app is no longer there, which really means that the drop on Thursday is going to be a true test as well. Being able to buy and sell collectibles on the marketplace will really help retain and welcome new Veve users and Ecomi investors. Another factor to hype is the community and leadership behind it. So the leadership stays in constant contact with us and those in the community, and that community itself seems to be continuously growing and getting stronger. We've seen an ebb in Veve's hype, but when people see dinosaurs running around in their backyard and NF players catching footballs in their living rooms and Street Fighter characters duking it out in their house, and celebrities discussing Veve Ecomi the way that they have Doge, that hype will begin to flow again and turn into a tsunami. But the second piece is probably the most important piece for utilizing that hype, and Ecomi doesn't have it yet. The second is ease of use, access, right? So in other words, exchanges. When we look at Ecomi, it's on very, very few used exchanges, right? I can't tell you how many times in the past I've had to jump through a ton of hoops to get something signed up on a new platform I've never used, and then it takes days of verification, or I've gotten excited about a project, I go to look how to get it, and then don't end up investing in it because it's on an exchange I've never heard of. Or it's available on Uniswap and I have to consider, do I really want to spend $50 to $100 in gas fees to get it off MetaMask? And so when we compare it to something that has a lot of hype, or when there are big catalysts like a Dogecoin, we can see that the markets that it's available on are tons, right? Or even another NFT play, like let's look at Engine. Just an absolute ton. In comparison to Ecomi, we have really three. All of these exchanges are not really app friendly. So when it does become available on a KuCoin or a Binance or a Kraken, maybe one day Coinbase, people will be able to hop in easier, including larger investors who only use and trust those main exchanges and have the ease of use from the palm of their hand. Ecomi was created on GoChain because that was what was needed at the time for cheap and fast transactions. But Reese from Ecomi has already said a few times in the past week's interviews that interoperability is coming and multiple exchanges are coming. Pumping the brakes on naming large new brands, multiple collectible drops, and added functionality makes sense until it's easier to harness that hype and apply an instant call to action with access via multiple exchanges. The third is one that many of fast-moving coins that have sprouted up in the few months don't have that Ecomi does have, and that's foundation and foresight. Ecomi in Veve is not a new project. It was conceived back in 2017 and started in 2018 during the bear cycle. Almost 3 years before the Veve app was granted access to the public, and during that time, they were developing and signing tons of licenses, working with artists, and creating a very, very smart tokenomic model that is complementary to the Veve app and the NFT collectibles. 3 years, and the app presumably just came out of beta. If we're going to compare OMI's hype to that of Doge's and these other meme coins hype, then we could also compare its foundation and foresight to that of Cardano. Now, before ADA hodlers jump all over me and click the thumbs down button. I'm not saying Cardano and Ecomi or Veve are similar by utility in any way. And I'm also not saying the CEOs, David and Charles, are similar in any way. I'm saying they both understand the value of focusing on building and developing a strong foundation and having the foresight to create something that's going to stick around long term. This is also why Cardano is one of my favorite and largest holdings, is because of that element of foresight and foundation. But Cardano didn't really start its climb until about 5 months ago, right? And has mostly traded sideways for the past 2 months, where others keep shooting up. They've caught flack from several because where others can focus on hype and branding and marketing, Cardano is still focused on developing and making a perfect product. As we can see, it's still got a little ways to go, but it is very much in the basis of building foundation so that way it can skyrocket. The projects that are going to perform well this bull cycle and continue to exist well into the next bull cycle are going to be the ones who have done this groundwork similar to how Cardano and Ecomi have done. So if you saw my last video, you saw that I put together this roadmap of where I think it'll go throughout the next 5 months or so. And I still stand by that. And again, this is a good time to get in before the next leg up starts. But I want to address what we have to look forward to and why this next leg up is going to be a substantial one. So what we have to look forward to is the Veve app coming out of beta. So we now have a platform that can handle mass use. Hundreds of licenses on deck that are in the backlog that we only know about 14 or 15 or so. Multiple exchange listings coming, and interoperability is going to come for ease of use and access to retain new investors. Multiple verticals of collectibles coming out. So they're branching out, right? It's no longer going to be specifically for us Marvel and DC nerds, but now branching out to a larger group of audience. The two-factor authentication is I think happening today or tomorrow, so that way our collectibles are safe and added security is good. The marketplace is now open, so again, more and more access, and they're burning tokens like crazy. So again, that circulating supply is dwindling. They've talked about buybacks, but we need more clarity around that. The weekly collectible drops are going to continue to burn tokens, as well as, again, make the earlier ones more valuable and draw in more users. The Master Collector program, that's just going to create a lot more usability too, right? It's going to give us either badges or different things. The more collectibles you have, the more you can do, the more access, maybe early access to collectibles. That gamification piece is going to be really important. They've mentioned they have multiple influencers have reached out to them, so I imagine they're also on deck to be announced on who's going to speak to Ecomi. That'll help a lot with the marketing and getting them out. And then in Q3, a little over 2 months away, we have the Artist Alley and new product launch coming, which will attract more users and I imagine create more collectibles as well, right? If they're enabling artists to actually create more collectibles. And the last piece is the Veveverse. So I want to jump on this because I think I found something, and it's speculative, right? Because we don't know anything until Veve and Ecomi tell us. But they announced that that the NFT and Digital Collectible Summit is happening on April 27th, and Veve is going to be speaking at it, right? So on the panel at 1:30, so I think Dan is speaking on the NFT and display case at 2:30. But at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the NFT and Digital Arcade, these are the panelists, which David Yu, the CEO of Ecomi, is directly going to be speaking about this, right? And so this jumped out Digital Arcade, but it got me curious, right? I don't want to just assume Digital Arcade, maybe it's the NFT portion, the collectibles portion that David Yu is going to speak out to. So I looked at who are Recur and who are Epic. Recur was created to design and develop on-chain brand experiences that allow fans to buy, collect, and resell digital products and collectibles NFTs. Recur will fundamentally change the NFT market through the creation of first-of-its-kind ecosystem industry standardization on recurring royalties for NFTs minted on the Ethereum network. with the goal of making NFTs chain agnostic and keeping NFT and royalties decentralized. So we know that Ecomi is on the Go chain network, but interoperability is a big thing. And we know that we can't take them off of Veve yet and mint them. So that kind of jumps out as a potential partnership to me. And then I looked at who Epic is. Epic is premium in-game experience, digital items and more. And they are doing a number of things in the NFT space: premium content, trusted brands, limited edition, over 350 business partners covering more than 1,000 iconic brands, over 250 gaming, 200 million daily active users. So this is a big, big company that I actually personally have never heard of, but they're very much into the gaming space, and they're working directly with helping companies put NFT items into games. And what I did was I clicked on partnerships, and what's the first one you see? Ultraman, Arena of Valor. So this came out in December of last year, but this stands out a little bit. Too much of a coincidence to me that Veve announced Ultraman drop. Like, it's very, very uncanny that Veve is hopping on a panel with a interoperability NFT partner, or not their partner, but like company, and a company who also is promoting Ultraman in the gaming world. It just seems like there's a lot happening here. And so that jumped out as, again, speculation, but a lot of really uncanny coincidences. So I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. But with all that said, there's a lot coming. So if you bought at the top and are holding or sold at a loss, now is a good time to get in, even though not financial advice, because this momentum is about to take off again. And I don't believe we're ever going to see this price action again. So you just got an opportunity to buy OMI at an impressive discount because of the flash crash. So that's why I keep buying more and more when it's in these dips. The momentum's about to pick up again, and I hope you're with me on the inside looking out versus the outside looking in. So I hope you all found this valuable. If so, make sure that you hit the like button and leave a comment down below so more folks can see this content and know why OMI is a smart investment, more so now than ever. You can also click the subscribe and notification bell for future content. That's all I got today. So I'm Taps. Thank you for your time and happy trading.